So this week's Monday makeup, we are going to be talking all about liquid foundations. We've been having a lot of messages asking us, how do we choose the right foundation for our skin? So this week's video is going to be discussing just exactly that. We're going to be looking at doing a series. So this week we're going to be looking at liquids, and we will progress on to talking more specifically about powder foundations in the future. So Josie, what are you going to do for today's Monday makeup?
I think everyone can equally agree that sometimes finding the right foundation can be an absolute minefield. Like, there's so many options out there. There's so many, different skin types, different textures, different finishes, whether you want glowy or matte, and it's a bit like, so we're going to take you through some different finishes today and also some different coverages. So today, what I'm actually wearing on my skin is a stick foundation. So I personally really love a stick foundation for me personally, and also when I'm doing other people, like especially bridal or events makeup, because you have customizable control. So my personal favorite one is the one from Bobbi Brown. And the way I personally like to use it is you can either go, and the reason why it's such a great one is you can literally, if you want more of a fuller coverage, you can pop it straight on the skin and then buff it in and you'll have a full coverage foundation. Or you can take like a little bit on your fingertips, mix it with your moisturizer, and you've got a tinted foundation. Or what I like to do is I take my brush and I just get a little bit on, I sort of press it into the brush, and then for me, I've got a few little breakouts around this area, and I just gently press it over the top. And that way you only put the foundation where you feel like you need it. So for me, it tends to be the center of my face where I tend to get a little bit redness, a little bit more of a breakout around my chin, but generally like my forehead and my cheeks are clear. So I don't want to put a load of product there. So then the finish of this foundation, I would say, is like almost satin finish. Again, because you can manipulate it, you can add it in with a glowy product, or then you can powder it down and get it more matte. It just sort of sits on the skin and makes your skin still look like skin. So if you're someone who has maybe slightly problematic skin, fairly normal skin, and you just want something to even everything out, this might be a great little option for you.
Amazing. So I've got a couple of liquid foundations with me. Now, as you all know, if you've been following me for a while, I preach to the hills about wearing SPF. So always, I will put on my Heliocare tinted moisturizer on a daily basis, which I'm actually wearing right now. There are a couple of different kinds of Heliocare. So there are plain versions, but there are also tinted versions. So for those of you out there that are looking for like a tinted moisturizer, this is exactly what you should be looking for, because it's protection and coverage in one. Protecting you against UVA and UVB, so when you go on holiday and those burning sunny rays are coming through, but also right now you guys are watching us through some sort of technology which is emitting off blue light, and these are actually protecting you against blue light technology, as well as one dangerous ray that is so powerful that it penetrates through panes of glass. So we're all staying at home at the moment, we're all working from home, so even if you're indoors, you need to be wearing this. So I'm just going to swatch this on my hand. So first of all, you've got the oil-free version. So this is perfect for an oily skin, problematic skin, and for someone that wants a matte finish. So it's a really nice liquid that is oil free, so completely not going to congest, and it's just a really silky finish, which, as you can see, has just completely blended into my hand. The other option is the gel cream or the Sun Touch collection from Heliocare. These give a more dewy finish. Now, these are for clients who are more dry, mature, somebody wanting more of a radiant glow to their skin. So this one isn't oil-free. It's a similar consistency, as you can see. It's still got that nice blending ability, but it will just give more of a radiant glow.
Following on from Lexis, I'm going to jump in now. We'll stick to sort of the lightweight foundations. So if you're someone who doesn't want a lot of coverage or just is maybe a little bit new to foundation, you don't want to go full whack because sometimes it can feel a little bit like, oh, you got something on your face. My personal favorite is the Light Wonder foundation from Charlotte Tilbury. Now, obviously, it's like a youth boosting, perfecting foundation. So great if you have, again, more of a drier skin type. So if you noticeably see some texture on the skin from any dry areas, you're better off going for products that are really super hydrating, that aren't going to highlight any texture, which is what this one does. It's sort of this light reflecting and it's super hydrating on the skin. Has a bit SPF of 15, but obviously don't skip your SPF just for having this in your foundation. It's just like an extra, if you're on holiday, put your SPF 50 on, and then you've also got a bit of SPF in your foundation, which is just good to know. And again, the texture of this one is super light, it's super runny. This one is the colour that I wear when I'm a bit more tan, so please ignore the fact that my hand is a lot paler. But you don't need a lot of this one. A little bit does go a long way. And you can just see that it has a little bit more of a glow to it, and you can still see like my veins through it. Like we said, it's a really lightweight foundation, but it just evens everything out really nicely and will give you that nice healthy glow.
So my next step up, in keeping with Jane Iredale. So Jane Iredale is also nicknamed the skincare makeup. So this is treating your skin whilst you're wearing it. So I will go into detail about the type of ingredients that are within these products that are going to be treating your skin whilst you're wearing it. So I'm going to now go in with the Beyond Matte, which is their newest foundation that they actually based on the best-selling foundation Double Wear. Now, there are lots of different opinions on Double Wear, and obviously I always say to clients, it comes down to what you prefer on the skin. If you're someone that wants a full coverage foundation, we do have that in an alternative. But with this product, it contains plant-based hyaluronic acid. So it's a semi-matte finish. So it will still give you that hydration in a prolonged time, because the trouble is with foundations, I commonly get told that as they're wearing their foundation throughout the day, you may find that your skin becomes drier. It gathers. Now, because this has got the plant-based hyaluronic acid, it will actually stop that from happening. So I will go in with more of a brush with this because it is a foundation. By all means, for quickness, if you wanted to go in with your fingers, you could absolutely do that. But I just prefer to go in with a brush. So we're going to go in. Ideally, you would need about 2 pumps. So it doesn't actually move too much. So it's not too runny, but I'm just going to blend it out. And you're going to see, so it's not as fluid as the tinted moisturizers, but this will give more of a matte finish. So for somebody who's oily, problematic, that wants a coverage but not too much, it's going to be that in between, a tinted moisturizer and a full coverage.
Love that. Love it. So I'm going to move on now to, this is more of your full coverage foundation. So anyone out there who is a full coverage person, you just like it, you want to look perfect, more of a matte finish, this one is for you. And similarly, actually, to what Alex was saying with the Jane Iredale, is this one has been compared a lot to the Estee Lauder Double Wear. However, I personally have found this feels so lightweight on the skin. For the coverage you get, how this feels in the skin is honestly incredible. Charlotte has built it in with almost like a cooling effect. So especially if you're getting married in the summer and it's going to be warm, this is fantastic because it's not going to feel heavy. It's going to be nice and cooling on the skin. It's still pumped full of some skincare ingredients. So again, throughout the day, our skin, correct me if I'm wrong on this, Alexis, but it will try and get moisture from wherever it can. And that's why you tend to get separation in your makeup, because, you know, you're inside, you got air conditioning, the weather, all of these different factors. But I tell you now, this is an absolutely extraordinary foundation. I absolutely am obsessed. Have been at work and then gone to CrossFit, and this has still been on my face. My face has still looked completely perfect. It is sweat proof as well. So again, this one doesn't really move. It's quite thick. I'd say this is probably far too much for my hand that you're going to see right now. That would do your entire face. That's how much you need, because it's so pigmented. So if I swatch, you can see there, again, this is slightly warmer. I like to wear my foundation slightly warmer than my skin tone. And I also have not seen any sun. But compared to your Light Wonder, that's what you're going to get. And I would say less is more with this one. But you can blend it out. Again, this is literally going to do my entire, look at that, it's completely flawless. And it's more of a matte finish.
Your makeup is only going to look as good as your skin.
Yeah.
I always get asked, how does your skin look so glowing? Is it your foundation or is it your skincare? And 9 times out of 10, it's skincare. But that leads me on to my final foundation from Jane Iredale that I'm actually going to apply on my skin, because as I said, I've already got my tinted SPF on, but I'm going to show you on my hand and on my face. So this is called the Glow Time BB foundation from Jane Iredale. This is a 4-in-1 foundation. So it's a moisturizer, a primer, concealer, and foundation all in one. It's built with a lot of antioxidants in here to help protect your skin against daily aggressors like Josie was just discussing. So this one, similarly to the Flawless filter, you actually need 2 tiny peas on the back of your hand, because if you don't, you will find that there's just too much product to blend in on the skin and you will end up not liking it. So I'm just going to show you. That is literally all you need. It probably will be a little bit too much. So all I tend to do with my foundation is I tend to, with my fingers, just apply on each area of the face. Just because then I know that I've got even distribution. It's just one of my tips. Then what I'm going to do is go in with the blending contouring brush. We're going to go into tools a little bit more as well, but the tool that you use depends on the finish that you get. This is a full coverage, so I'm just going to start blending all around the face. And the beauty of this is if you would like more of a coverage, you can go in with more of a powder on top, or just another layer of liquid. I'm going to just show you on my hand exactly the staying power of it. So similarly to Josie, it doesn't move whatsoever. Okay, so it's a full coverage and you literally just keep blending. The more you have on the skin, the worse it's going to be to blend. You can always add, but you can't take away. So hence the name Glow Time. This is going to give you a full coverage, radiant foundation. Now I have oily skin clients that love this, and I also have dry, mature clients that love this, but every application will be different. It just comes down to the finish that you desire. So as you can see, it's given my skin that radiance with a bit of coverage. So if anybody has any questions on either of the makeups that we have been discussing today, please feel free to reach out to us. We'll be more than happy to answer your questions. So thank you again for joining me, Josie. And
thank you.
I shall see you next week.
Yes, see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.